Bonjour, français 1. Aujourd'hui, on va parler des articles, les noms et les pronoms. Allons-y, commençons. So, some things we probably already know about nouns include the fact that a noun is a person, place, thing, animal, or idea. Voilà des exemples en français. Un garçon, a boy. Une amie, a friend. Un crayon, a pencil. Une voiture, a car. So we're going to start talking about nouns in French. Two things we need to know. In French, nouns have gender. They are masculine or feminine, which is totally different than English. And they can be singular or plural, right? Obviously, we can have one or more than one. What's the hardest thing for any student of French, Italian, Spanish is to memorize the gender of a noun. All right, don't just learn crayon. You got to learn un crayon, un crayon. Don't just learn fenêtre, learn une fenêtre, and you'll be much better off down the line. So what we are going to talk about next is articles. And articles are important because they introduce a noun. All right, nouns are lowly creatures and they need a buddy with them at all times in French. For example, the pen, the introduces pen, or a book, a introduces book. The articles also kind of do us a favor and tell us the noun, the gender of the noun that we are working with. So they're useful too. Yay! We're going to start with indefinite articles. We already know these words. A, an. Sometimes they mean one, or when it's plural, they mean some. So we've got un masculin, une féminin, and plural is des. We have some of something. Notice if it's plural, I can't tell masculine or feminine. If I said des stylos, you wouldn't necessarily know that stylo is masculine. You would have to know that it's un stylo. So check out these four words. We've got c'est un portable, c'est un pupitre, c'est une fenêtre, ce sont des livres. So un and deux are masculin, trois is féminin, and then quatre, I threw you in a fake out. It was a plural, but it also happens to be masculine because it's un livre. So those are our indefinite articles, un, une, and des. Situations where you're going to see the indefinite article used, je voudrais, remember we use this for food, like je voudrais une omelette, je voudrais un café, stuff like that. Or donnez-moi, that was just another way, give me, donnez-moi un jus de pomme. And also j'ai, we learned our new verb, avoir, to have, so with possession. J'ai un crayon et un sac à dos. Alright, next up is our definite articles. En anglais, they mean the. So, masculine, we have le or L apostrophe if it starts with a vowel. La, again, L apostrophe if it starts with a vowel. And les for our plural. Le, la, les. Let's see them in action. We've got le for a masculine noun, example, le garçon, the boy. La for a feminine noun, la porte, the door. And then we have that L apostrophe when the noun starts with a vowel. So for example, l'élève. And you just pronounce the word as if it starts with that L. L'élève, the student. So I can't tell in this situation, is the student masculine or feminine? When do we use the definite articles? A couple situations. When I want to be super specific. Le livre bleu. That blue book. All right, I want the blue book that you have in your hand, not just any book. When we are talking in general about things that we like and we dislike, j'aime la glace au chocolat. Notice in English we don't even use an article. We just say, I like chocolate ice cream. But again, remember nouns, they're all lonely. They need a buddy to introduce them. So j'aime la glace au chocolat. Or je n'aime pas le jus d'orange. I don't like orange juice in general. So some keywords for definite articles are likes and dislikes. J'aime, je préfère, je n'aime pas. We're going to look at two more situations where we use the definite article. One is days of the week when I do something every day. So if I said le lundi, je nage, it's like saying on Mondays, I swim. I'm telling you le lundi, that means every single Monday that comes around, je nage. Oh, Madame can dream, right? And then when we make super general statements about stuff, like les Français aiment manger. French people, in general, like to eat. Moi aussi. So those are our definite articles. Now we're going to kind of switch gears, talk about subject pronouns. The reason we talk about all these together is because everything ties into what's the gender, how many of the object do you have? We already know about subject pronouns. Remember, they replace a noun. So where's the girl? So the girl is my noun. She is in class. So she is taking the place of the girl. Instead of saying, where's the girl? The girl is in class. The girl has blonde hair. All right, we can shorten our sentences with she. Where is the book? It is in my book bag. So it took the place of book. So that's what our subject pronouns do. And they also have gender and number. And again, we know these words already. We've got il for he and it. We have elle for she and it. And then we have il pluriel and elle pluriel. Remember, we don't pronounce that S. So let's see these subject pronouns in action. They have to match the gender of the noun they replace. Okay? So for example, let's take those two sentences we had. Où est la fille? Where is the girl? Elle est en classe. I have to use elle because fille is feminine. She is in class. Où est le livre? Where is the book? Il est dans mon sac à dos. It is in my book bag. All right, I had to use il because livre is masculin. We are going to talk quickly about some special nouns in French that kind of are counterintuitive to us, starting with une personne. All right, it means a person, but it's always feminine. I could be talking about a guy. It doesn't matter who I'm talking about. You know, Channing Tatum, for example. Il est une personne. Even though he's a guy, I still call him une personne, a person. But personne is feminine. Un professeur, when it's spelled all the way out, not shortened, it is always masculine. So even madame is un prof. But then there's an exception to it. When you shorten professeur and you just say prof, guess what? You can call it une. I know, so confusing. Last one is this word des gens. That means people in general, and that's also always going to be plural. So des gens dansent. People are dancing. Yay. Speaking of plural and making nouns plural, all right, if I have, a pen, and I want to say, just kidding, I have more than one, all right, we do in French what we would do in English, all right, add an S. So un stylo, here's a pen, des stylos. So notice I added this S here at the end to turn it into some pens. So that's how I make nouns plural in general. There's going to be a couple exceptions, but we got to look out for that liaison. That is just the Z sound of like an S as it slides into a vowel. So normally this would be des, don't pronounce the S, and this would be ordinateur. But when we have des ordinateurs, instead of des ordinateurs with that pause, they like to make this word slide into each other, des ordinateurs. So the Z sound pops in between this S and the vowel sound. If it were les, the same thing would happen, les ordinateurs. Last thing we're going to talk about a little bit is negatives. So remember the ne and pas make things negative. You can see it here in this sentence, ne and pas. But here's the crazy thing. Un, une, and des, they change to de. Basically, if I say pas, you say de. Pas. I hope you said de. Come on now. So je n'ai pas de stylo. I have a pen, j'ai un stylo, je n'ai pas de stylo. Always pas de. Here's il y a, right? That means there is or there are. The negative of that is il n'y a pas. So if there's not a computer, il n'y a pas d'ordinateur. We're going to sing a nice song soon. Of course, there's an exception to every rule. So if the verb is être, guess what? Pas doesn't change anything. So Eric est un voisin. Eric's a neighbor. Just kidding. Eric n'est pas un voisin. So there's your one exception when that un or une does not change after a negative. It's because I'm using this verb être, whereas like if you notice in this sentence, I have avoir. All right, but here I'm using être, so my un does not change. All right, so that's it for nouns, articles, and subject pronouns. Here's a fun little chart for you. So just a reminder, definite article means the in English. Keywords, j'aime, je n'aime pas, likes and dislikes. You've got your le, L apostrophe, la, and then les for plural. Indefinite articles, my second column, that's a, and, one, or some. We've got je voudrais, donnez-moi, j'ai, showing possession, un, une, and des. And then your subject pronouns, which remember mean it or they, sometimes he and she, and they take the place of a noun. That's the subject of the sentence, and they're going to replace the noun that we were talking about before. So that's where your il, and il pluriel come in. All right, you got it all. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.